just to clarify a few things that I saw when I looked at about half your papers. On the interval from -1 to 3, x minus 3 goes from what to what? Well, from -1 minus 3, that'd be -4, and 3 minus 3 is 0. And that's non-inclusive, meaning I don't include the -4 or the 0 because -1 and 3 don't get counted, right? Because of the open interval, okay? So x minus 3 is negative. X plus 5 goes from 4 to 8, so it's positive, right? And x plus 1 from 0 to 4 non-inclusive, so it's positive, right? Okay. And then so f of x is negative because it's a product of 1 negative and 2 positives, right? So now we can say that the function is negative here. And of course, I'm over here, the graph again, okay? So now we know that we're negative here, right? Now we've got 2 more intervals, from 3 to infinity, and from infinity to -5. Because these zeros have split the x-axis into 4 intervals. Okay? Interval to the left of -5, interval between -5 and -1, interval from -1 to 3, and from 3 to infinity. And what we're saying is that the function is always positive or always negative in any of these intervals, and that's always going to be the case. Okay? Because the function can only change values by going through 0. Now that's the intermediate value theorem. We'll talk more about that, but let's get this whole process going. Okay? So on the interval, now from 3 to infinity, well, if x is 3, x minus 3 is 0, right? And as x approaches infinity, it can't equal infinity, but for any number greater than 3, it's going to be positive, right? So I'm going to say it goes from 0 to infinity. Being a little loose with the idea of infinity here, okay? But it should be obvious if you just think about how the numbers go. You know, you go 3, okay, go to 4, what happens? 4 minus 3 is 1. Go to 5, well, geez, you're going to get 2. Every time you go up by 1, you're going to get 1 more here because you have just a plain old x, okay? So this is just going to continue increasing. So it's going to approach infinity. Okay, then x plus 5. That's not going to be 2, it's going to be 8 because you're going to subtract. Okay? From 8 to infinity, because when x is 3, this is 8. And then every time x goes up by 1, this goes up by 1. Okay? in the interval 3, infinity, you can think of as being 3, 4, 5, and so forth. Okay? And then x plus 1. From 4 to infinity. Positive in every case. So being the product of only positive numbers, you're going to get a positive number, right? Okay? On negative infinity, negative 5, all three of the factors are negative. Okay? So f of x is negative. And we can now take that information and say that, okay, it'll be positive here, it's going to be negative here. Okay, so somehow it's got to go from negative to positive here, from positive to negative, from negative to positive. So it's going to kind of look like this, right? Okay, so maybe it looks something like this. And it will actually look a whole lot like that, except that one of these will probably be higher than another one. It's going to be steeper through one point than it is through another on the x-axis. Okay, well, we want to get to that. So we want to now ask, what if x is a big positive number? Okay. If x is a big positive number, what does that do to x minus 3, x plus 5, and x plus 1?